For a moment there, I thought Wily was the true villain. Actually, hold that thought for later. Wily may be the man behind the man behind the man. So on to the second set of order stages. And I thought there was a wall there. See you later, Eye Slasher. This, along with most of my other live streams, will be edited down in post. The Disco Light is actually one of the best shield weapons of the game, better than the other shield weapon. I'd make one change to the Izumi arcade cabinet: decrease the damage of those pink balls, make it so they only 4 or 5 shot the player. That's a trap, by the way, don't go for it. It technically has a weakness, but it's either the Wild Coil or the Super Adapter Punch, but that's not really that much of a weakness. And weaknesses can deal 2 damage as long as they have other advantages to them. Love this stage team, by the way. The 8-bit remake of Mega Man X4's intro stage. Mega Man OP? Cadman OP was scarier. If you want to use a special weapon as a weakness against the Mega Man 7 Wily capsule, use the Super Adapter Punch. Anchor OP? Didn't expect to see you here. This feels like a more scuffed remix. Although music is more subjective, so... I can see why you would prefer this one over the one we have in Mega Man Maker. It feels strange saying this, but some of the enemies really need to deal more damage to the players. For example, the boomerang Cadman. Blade OP. So in this stage, we're probably going to face off against all the Mega Man killers. Punk OP, sorry. A much easier version of Punk too. Usually he fires out his screw crushers much faster. Here you had plenty of time to react. Too plenty. Sorry, I have a tendency to mix up Punk and Blade. I wish all the Mega Man killers were added to Mega Man Maker. Oh yeah, spikes. There you are, Blade. I don't want the game to crash again, so... Compared with Punk OP, Blade OP was a lot scarier. Who's next? Quint OP? Nope, it's 0p. This time, we defeated him for good. After defeating him 7 or 8 times before. Come on, Pixel Boy. Let's not insult other people. Neat background you have there. Reminds me of Geometry Dash for some reason. Two choices, but I see an elevator there. Starting off with the top one. Oh hey, you're Superman from OP1. I forget what the original weakness was. I forget the names of these bosses. I mean, they're even weaker than the RMs in OP2. Chance Man. As I already fought these bosses in the previous game, I'll just use the full charge shot and weaknesses against them. Pipe Man. Also the return of the super big eyes from OP1. Battleman? No, you're Dashman. Kung Fu Man. I wanted to see what's up that ladder. Are you Scorpion or Battleman? I think you're the latter. So that leaves Scorpion Man next. So that's the end of Cadman 2. On to Cadman 3. Well, I didn't expect to hear this theme now. This wasn't that much of a bad time, to be honest. It was actually easier than some of the previous stages. Although, to be fair, this stage is actually one of the more fun ones. You sure about that, Buster? I don't really find this to be annoying at all. Maybe outside of paying attention to the Yoka block patterns. I prefer this over that. Then again, what you consider to be annoying depends on the person. To me, this is not really annoying. Far from it. This is rather tame, to be honest. Even if I decide to go through this section without the use of the rush jet, the Yoka blocks wouldn't be that bad. And honestly, there were worse circle block patterns earlier. This is still not a good stage, mind you. It's okay at best. Mainly because it's actually using its gimmicks more. I'm still surprised these cards weren't used as much as they should have. That's alright. He's gone faster. Now to the saucer. Return of the giant pink balls. At least they're not as damaging as Izumi's. It's over, Cadman. Too much screen flashing. That was a smaller boom than what I'd hoped. Knowing Mega Man Classic, Cadman survived, or he backed up his brain in a computer. Now, you have plenty of other games you can be in, Spiny Met. Meanwhile, in prison, you think? Excuse me? X? Is he a time traveler? Those last few lines raise more questions than answers. So this is a good time to give my overall thoughts on Mega Man OP2 as a whole. Long story short, this is a marginal improvement over the first game, in terms of graphics, sound music, and level design, although especially in the latter, it's a minor improvement. Almost all the stages now have parallax scrolling for the backgrounds, and their background and foreground tilesets are notably more detailed. The music variety is better, there's better sound balancing, but it could still do with some improvement, plus the looping is still broken. Although some of the musical tracks chosen were not the best fits, and some were honestly painful to listen to, for instance the weapon get music. I also like how we actually have a more obvious storyline, what with the intro cutscene, in-stage dialogue, and a more fleshed out ending. Now moving on to the gameplay. Stages are certainly better, as most of them actually have gimmicks. In general, there are more gimmicks and enemies who aren't ripped directly out of the engine. We have some returning foes from OP1, but in addition to them we have some new folks. In terms of bosses though, it's basically the same old. There are minor improvements as they actually have 2 phases, so they don't just get 3 or 4 shot by the fully charged OP Buster. Other than that, most of their patterns aren't really that good. Weaponry, I think it's also a marginal improvement. The disco lights were one of the best weapons in the game, as they shielded you from all projectiles, including explosive ones. They didn't protect you against contact damage, but that wasn't too bad as most enemies weren't melee focused. Plus for some reason, they buffed the damage your Buster dealt to bosses. My next favorite weapon would be a tie between the Supernova, aka dashing weapon, the screen flashing weapon, which could 1 or 2 shot most enemies in the game, outside the really durable ones, and the missile weapon, for dealing a hefty amount of damage to enemies. The rest of the weapons were either okay, outclassed, or not really that good, outside of weakness affiliations. Even when using them as weaknesses against bosses, it's better to use either the Disco Light or the fully charged Buster. To be honest, most of the game wasn't really that interesting, outside of perhaps 1 or 2 RM stages and 1 or 2 Fortress levels. I mean, my favorite Fortress stage was actually the last one, because it reutilized most of the gimmicks in the game. For an OP tree, what I would like to see is each stage having its own central gimmick that is expanded upon and actually has a good climactic section. Keep the graphics, improve upon them, and nerf the OP Buster so it doesn't just tear through the bosses. Also, I would have preferred if collecting all the 5 metallic diamonds actually did something. They don't even change the ending, I think. I wouldn't mind if we got the OP Buster by collecting all 5 of those diamonds. So overall, I say this game is somewhere between below par to okay at best. An improvement over the first game, but I still don't recommend this. There are better Mega Man Classic fan games out there. Despite me rating it that way, I still had some fun with this game. Well then, I hope you all enjoyed my live Let's Play of Mega Man OP2 viewers. If you enjoyed this Let's Play, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe, as they all help out the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well, and join my Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in a future Let's Play.